Hello there, boxing fans. Thank you for joining us once again on Talkin' Fight for another episode of Boxing News Today. And there's honestly not much news to report, so let's just get right at it with a quick little item out of Australia. Dragonfire Boxing is guided by Australian boxing paramount Tony Tolge, who's been integral in careers such as Chris John, Andrew, and Jason Maloney, amongst others. And he discussed his latest acquisition, who is Australian already said that 23-year-old Austin Akuso, who is respected in Australia, holds an impressive amateur record spanning 74 fights with 63 victories, has gotten himself what we call an advisory deal with Dragonfire Boxing. The 5 times Queensland State Amateur Champion said, "I am delighted to be moving forward with my career with Dragonfire Boxing alongside Phil Murphy. I have a fantastic team here with Tony and Phil, and I'm sure that having this team along with my trainer Jeff Fraser can take me to the level I believe I can get to, which is being a world champion." Now, I myself have never heard of an advisory deal in boxing, so let's see where that one ends up. As I said, news is a bit scant, but out of Tennessee, 12-0, undefeated, Ty Tomlin. His opponent has been named for his 5th battle in Clarksville. On February 5th, undefeated lightweight prospect Tyler Short Fuse Tomlin, as I said, who's 12-0 with 8 knockouts out of Cheatham County, Tennessee, now has a dancing partner. Her first his highly anticipated return to his hometown region, as he will face Charlie Serrano, 16-6 and 2 draws with 5 knockouts out of Tampa. The 10-round main event will take place in Clarksville, Tennessee, at the Winfield Dunn Center at Austin Peay University. Credit to my opponent for taking the fight, as I've had over a dozen other opponents turn me down, said the massive ticket seller Tomlin. I know he's coming to win, but I have other plans. I know what I have to do, and Charlie Serrano is just in the way of my goals for 2022. Tomlin is on a 3-fight knockout streak and looks to be in the running for the 2022 Prospect of the Year. I want to make a big statement in this fight with a dominating performance, said Tomlin. I have the whole support of my family, who believe in me since I turned pro. I'm hoping to get the recognition of some of the other top prospects in my division too. Having Lou DiBella guide us to the last piece, we need to be on world-class level, said his father, trainer, Daryl Tomlin. We're going to put up a show for local fans, so show up and we will show. I'm honored to promote this show for Ty, said 116 promoter Brandy Bolin McCain. I am very excited we were able to get a venue so close to his hometown. Everyone in town is talking about this fight, and this will, without a doubt, be the biggest show I've ever promoted. In other news headlines, and I read this with a straight face, BJ Flores, who is Jake Paul's coach and who I don't believe has coached anybody else, says, Jake Paul is without question the biggest up-and-coming star in boxing. Now, before I move forward, I myself had to wiki BJ Flores, found out who this guy is. Benjamin BJ Flores was born in 1979 and is considered an American professional boxer, although he has tried his hand at MMA. With respect to his record, we're looking at 39 fights, 34 wins, and 4 losses. However, of those losses, his last one, number 39 in his record, was a loss against Trevor Bryan, and that was for the vacant interim WBA heavyweight title. His other loss, his number 36 loss, was to Tony Bellew out of England for the WBC cruiserweight title. His 34th loss was to Baibut Shumanov for the interim WBA cruiserweight title. So, and his others were wins against what I would call tomato cans. So, not an impressive boxing record, to be blunt. And he says, Oh, as Flores continued to climb the ranks in the 200-pound division, Flores began pulling double duty by 2012, working as a ringside analyst, and he is now part of the Premier Boxing Champions NBC broadcast team. In 2016, he served as part of NBC's team covering the boxing at the Rio Olympics. Good for him. We won't talk about his MMA career. However, as of April 2021, these fights never came to fruition as Flores has increasingly shifted to coaching within boxing, most notably coaching YouTuber Jake Paul. So let's get back to what he has to say about Jake Paul in this incredibly short story you can find on boxing247.com. I will leave out the superlatives. Boxing's Jake Paul, 5-0, who put an exclamation point in his 2021 campaign with a one-punch knockout of Tyron Woodley on December 18th in Tampa, and who he had previously defeated via split decision in August, went 3-0 on the year, having knocked out each of his opponent that he has faced in his career. Only 2 of his fights have gone past the second round. At 24 years of age, Paul is already established as a top ticket seller and pay-per-view star. Yes, he is. And his coach, BJ Flores, is very impressed with the progress that his pupils made during his 2 years in the sport. 2 years in the sport, 5-0 record. None of those opponents were boxers, I might add, and I'm adding that myself. I'm not quoting the article here. But to quote Flores, Jake is a superstar. He has exciting one-punch power, speed, and has an incredible work ethic. He has that X factor. He is can't miss entertainment. Remember, he is only 5-0. Jake is without question the biggest up-and-coming star in boxing. He has massive potential. The sky is the limit. We have an excellent team in place. There's much more to come in 2022. So that led me to taking a look at other boxing champions and their records. And it didn't take me long to find an article in Boxing News 24. Other headlines, by the way, on this particular site. Shakur Stevenson wants Stephen Fulton fight. Tifo Lopez predicts I'll become undisputed at 140 in 2022. And Ugas is dangerous. It's a dangerous fight for Spence, says Mikey Garcia. Anyway, moving past those fantastic stories, I'm going to read you, here is the headline, the current top 15 records of boxers going into 2022, okay? And this is by an author, writer in the boxing world, Ken Hissner. Topping his list, and I don't think this is either alphabetical or by record. No, doesn't look like it. But topping his list, Panya, Petchmanee CP Freshmart Pradabsri, who's 37-1 with 23 knockouts. He's the WBC mini champ from Thailand. Then we have Chayaphon Moonsri, who's 55-1 with 19 knockouts, the former WBC mini champ from Thailand. Then we have Donnie Nietes, 43-1-6 with 23 knockouts, who's the WBO International Superfly champ from the Philippines. Then we have Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, who's 50-3 with 41 knockouts. He's the former WBA Superfly champ from Nicaragua. Then we have Wiksaksil Wangek, who's 55-1 with 43 knockouts, the former WBC Superfly champ from Thailand. And we have Juan El Gallo Francisco Estrada, who's 42-3 with 28 knockouts. And he's the WBA Superfly champ from Mexico. And he's scheduled for rematch with Ramon Gonzalez. Then we have Rey Vargas, 35-0 with 23 knockouts, former WBC World Super Bantam champ from Mexico. And we have Oscar Valdez, who's 30-0 with 23 knockouts, the WBC World Super Feather champ, also from Mexico. Then we have Gervonta Tank Davis, who's 26-0 with 24 knockouts, the WBA World Light champ from Baltimore, Maryland. Then we have Terence Bud Crawford, who's 38-0 with 29 knockouts. He's the WBO World Welter Champ from Omaha, Nebraska. And Errol, the Truth Spence, 27-0 with 21 knockouts. IBF and WBC World Welter Champ from DeSoto, Texas. Then we have Gennadiy GGG Golovkin, 41-1 with 36 knockouts. IBF and IBO World Middle Champ from Kazakhstan and LA, California. He didn't fight in 2021, being December bout to WBA champ Marita in Japan was canceled due to the pandemic. Then we have Saul Canelo Alvarez, 57-1-2, 39 knockouts. He's WBA, WBC, WBO, and IBF World Super Middle Champ from Mexico. And in 2021 was recognized as being the fighter of the year in some circles as he had 3 wins. In February, he stopped Avni Yildirim, who's 21-2, in 3 rounds at Miami Gardens. In May of 2021, in the unification bout, he stopped WBO champ Billy Joe Saunders, who was 30-0 at the time, in 8 rounds. And in his 3rd match in November, he stopped IBF champ Caleb Plant, who was 21-0 in 11 rounds. He's planning to move up to light heavyweight and challenge for a world title in 2022. Rounding out the list, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, who's 43-0 with 29 knockouts, the former WBO World Super Middle Champ from Mexico. He had 2 wins in 2021. In July, he knocked out Sullivan Barrera, who's 22-3 in 4 rounds. In December, he stopped Nietes Gonzalez, who's 21-3 in 10 rounds in Arlington, Texas. And finally, topping this list or ending this list, Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury, who's 31-0-1 with 22 knockouts. He is the WBC World Heavyweight Champ from the UK and Henderson, Nevada, I might add. He's looking to defend his title in 2022, and Dillian Whyte is one of those boxers who've been talked about who's willing to step into the ring again. So, what will 2022 hold for these top 15 boxers? Who knows? But among those boxers, Jake Paul does not quite cut it. Anyway, thanks very much for joining me on Talk and Fight, Boxing News today. It's been a pleasure. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we will see you back here tomorrow for another exciting episode, as I said, of Boxing News Today. Cheers.